This week's Torah portion, Shemini, we are with Rabbi Aharon Peretz of Djerba, another giant that we don't know anything about in Wikipedia or in English. He's living in 17th, 18th century, originally from Morocco and then gets to Djerba. He writes Bigdei Aharon, a commentary on the Bible. It was printed in 1796 together with Mishchat Aharon, his commentary on the Talmud. He also was a famous poet, wrote many beautiful poets with a lot of Kabbalistic secrets. He was a Kabbalist, one of the first to bring Kabbalah to the island of Djerba. In any event, we're going to focus on one verse. Right in Shemini, we have this tragic, after the festivities of the 8th day, the tabernacle, we're about to start, and then two of Aaron's children are taken, gulped by a flame. Moshe comes and says this to Aaron, and we are told, Vayidom Aaron, and Aaron is silent. Rabbi Aharon tells us, there is a midrash I heard from a certain Rav Shmuel who heard another person tell him the following midrash. What could have Aaron said? What does it mean when the Bible says and Aaron was silent? What could he have said? He could have quoted what we learned in the Tractate of Nida. And what did we learn in the Tractate of Nida? There is a question the Gemara asks, why do we circumcise the boy on the 8th day and not on the 2nd or 3rd day? The answer is quite simple. We want to make sure that everyone in the party is happy. What does that mean? A wife that gives birth to a baby boy can purify herself after 7 days, if it's a girl after 14 days. So if we have to circumcise the boy, let's make it the 8th day so that mommy and daddy are happy, and you know what I mean, intimately, as well as the guests. Everyone's happy and it's a big party. By the way, in brackets, if you want to know how to bring forth a boy or a girl, go to Tractate Nida 31b. Fascinating discussion there. Two different views between Rav Katina and Rava. Albeit Rava's view requires more physical effort, worth looking at both views. Close brackets. Back to Rabbi Aharon, back to Djerba. So he brings this midrash, which quotes this halacha, saying, we learn in the Talmud, right, that God decides that on the 8th day we circumcise the boy so that everyone in the party can be happy, husband, wife, and kids. This is what Aharon could have said to Hashem. He could have said to Hashem, he had a halachic argument. He could have said, Hashem, is it not true that you chose that the 8th day is the day that we circumcise the boy so that you want to make sure everyone's happy? If that's the case, today is the 8th day. Today is my big day. I'm the Kohen Gadol. We're about to start the festivities. You took my boys. You took them. You wanted to bring together, mix happiness and sadness. You could have waited. He had a halachic argument, and that is why he was quiet. He had what to say, despite that he was quiet, and for that reason, he then gets the kavod of God, the privilege of God coming directly this time, right after this episode, and saying, Vayidaber Hashem le'Aaron, directly to Aaron, Moses aside, because he had a halacha case, but he put his ego, he put himself aside for Hashem and what had to happen, which by the way was probably because his boys, Hashem wanted them because he loved them so much, because they were so eager to be with God. Thoughts of Rabbi Aharon Peretz, giant from Djerba. Shabbat Shalom.